guys, it's your girl Ayana, and welcome back to my baby channel. So today we're gonna be doing a motherfucking story time. Okay, and let me tell you something. I'm 28, about to be 29, and I have seen a lot of shit. I have been through a lot of shit. I have had some really crazy moments in my lifetime. And so with that being said, I have so many stories that I want to share with you guys. So in addition to my retail therapy playlist, I also will have let me lose my train of thought, y'all. That's the no divergency in me. I also will have a story time playlist for you guys. So I can't wait to share them with you. But today's topic is going to be about an ain't shit dude that I used to date. Should we give him a name? Let's name him Brokey. Okay, yeah, let's name him Brokey. So, I've been single for about a year and some change now, and I was kind of just getting my way back into casually dating. I wasn't really taking it seriously. I was just kind of seeing what's out there, right? And so I met this guy named Brokey, but he lied to me and told me his name was Got Money, but he didn't have that. But anyway, so when I first met Brokey, we hit it off really well. I thought he was really, really charismatic and fun and exciting. He just seemed like a really, really cool guy to be around. He had a great energy. He was very polite. He was very respectful. I didn't have to cuss him out. He was really cool. And so he made me laugh, which I really, really like. He made me laugh all the time. And so we hit it off really, really well. But it was just kind of weird because I would tell him things that I liked. I would tell him things that I was into. For example, something about me, I love flowers. And roses are my favorite type of flowers. And I just felt like if I'm a woman, right, and you're a man, and I'm telling you something that's important to me, right, and you acknowledge what I said, and you're like, well, that's good to know. I'll make sure that I have that for you, every time that I come see you, and I'm like, period. That's what I like to hear. So keep in mind, we've been chopping it up. It's going well. We vibing. We go on the first date. This motherfucker come empty-handed. And I'm just okay. I was kind of I'm not sure why he's coming empty-handed. I honestly thought maybe he forgot, but that was just me being Delulu. And sometimes being Delulu isn't the Salulu. So we go out to eat. Keep in mind, we went to this place that I called Serious Dumpling. It's a fire ass dumpling place. So we had went there. He told me he was going to treat me as it should be. It's the first date. And when I was getting ready to order, I could just tell that he just looks kind of nervous, and not nervous to be on a date with me. It just kind of seemed like he was nervous about what I was going to order because I could just sense that he didn't really have it like that. And even then, I still wasn't judging him. You know what I mean? I was still okay, whatever. I have my own money. I would never ever go on a date without any money in my fucking pocket. Period. Ladies, if you ever go on a date, you should always have at least $100 in your pocket because you never know, niggas ain't shit. But I digress. So he was kind of nervous about me ordering my food. To keep in mind, I'm a big girl, okay? We know it, you know it, we all know it. I'm not missing no fucking meals. So at the end of the day, when I'm gonna order my food, I'm gonna order what I'm gonna what I want to order. I'm not gonna order one bite of something to spare your finances, right? That's not my problem. But basically, he just looked nervous, and I was kind of you know what, it's okay. I was I can just I can buy my own food. And I was we can just I was if you want, we can just go half and half. And I didn't really even want to do that, but I could just tell that he couldn't really afford it. But like I said, at this moment, I'm still getting to know him, so I'm kind of side-eyeing him a little bit, only because he never gave me the impression that he was either ain't shit or he was financially struggling. At this time, I didn't know which one it was. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, so I was it's cool. I can pay for my own food, right? So we go half and half. Keep in mind, child, I ordered 5 fucking things because that's what I do when I go out. But I had ordered 5 different things, right? And all those things were hella busting. So we paid for our food, and then we're kicking it. We're hanging out for a little bit. The vibes were good. And then it's time to go home. And I'm like, oh, are you gonna like call your Uber or something? And he's like, nah, he's like, I'm just gonna like catch the light run and I'm gonna walk home. And I'm like, but you live like 15 blocks from here. I'm like, you don't want to just catch an Uber? It's only like $9. He's like, nah, like I ain't got it. And I just feel like, here's my thing, right? I just feel like if you're on a date and you don't have enough to cover like your way to get there, your way to get back, the meal for you and your girl or whoever you're talking to, just don't go on the fucking date. Like you got bigger fish to fry, apparently. So anyway, fast forward, that's the first date. I'm kind of like, okay, because like the situation just kind of did put like a bad taste in my mouth. But like I said, at this time, like I'm still not judging him. I'm just kind of feeling the vibe out, right? So fast forward, I don't remember exactly how it happened, but at some point we're talking about the flowers again. And I was saying how like you told me you were gonna bring me flowers on my first date and you never did. And I was just kind of like, that's fucked up. Like I really don't like men who say one thing but then don't their actions don't match up what they said. It just kind of feels like it just kind of feels like bullshit. And I'm just not I just be over guys. I be over guys, and I be over this shit. Like I can't just be straight up, be thorough about who you are. Don't put on a front. Don't like put on a show. Don't put on a lie. Just be authentic with who you are, right? So anyway, so we're like talking about the flowers, and he was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like you're right. You know, I remember you told me you love roses, and I definitely did say that I was gonna get you some. Like that's my bad." And I'm like, "Okay, like we like an accountable king. Like I'm not mad." So then he's at home, right? Keep in mind, at this time, I didn't know this yet, but he lived like he's like 30 years old and he like lives with his entire family, like his mama, his sister, like the whole Brady Bunch, right? And so that was another red flag for me, right? He also like now that I'm putting all the pieces together, he also had like he had a summer job, but that job was going to end. And at this time, it was like towards the end of August. And so it was just kind of like, so what was your game plan? Like, you living with your mama because supposedly you had your own place and you couldn't afford the rent, so you moved back at home. But it just didn't really seem like he had any like drive. It didn't seem like he had any sort of like motivation. It just kind of seemed like he was just complacent, like being where he was at. So that was also like another red flag for me, right? But anyway, so we're talking about the roses, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, nigga." I'm just kind of like, I hear you, but until I got some flowers in my hand, I don't really give up on nothing you gotta say. His sister will say hi sometimes and we'll be on the phone. So I've spoken to her like very briefly here and there. But his sister, we're FaceTiming by the way, and his sister comes. She comes to the couch and she's like, I really don't understand how you weren't able to get her flowers when we have a whole rose bush outside the house. Bitch, when I say this man had me 50 shades of fucked up, because I'm just like, first of all, your sister ain't shit. Why she write you out like that? Second of all, thank you, sis. Good looking. But third of all, like, so you're telling me that your broke ass, okay, like let's say you really didn't have the money to buy me flowers, okay? But you had a whole free bushes, a bushel, in fact, of roses outside your house, and you couldn't even bother to pick me some. And so here's my thing, right? Something about me. It's not even about the flowers per se. It's about the effort, right? I don't give a fuck if you had to walk down your fucking neighborhood or like 2 blocks of your neighborhood and you had to like cut down flowers and tie that shit with a rubber band or a fucking shoestring, tie that shit in parchment paper and give it to me. I just like when someone puts in effort. And so the fact that like I had already told you something that was very important to me, you told me you were gonna do it, you didn't do it, then you apologize only to find out that you're just a lazy piece of shit because you had the flowers there in front of your house for free. Once again, want to reiterate, they were free. You didn't even have to spend no fucking money. You could have kept that shit for the bus. So at the end of the day, I'm just confused as to like, are you being funny? Like, are you playing games? So I was just kind of like, are you for real? And he's like, no, nah, it's not like that. We do blah. And at this point, he was already on strike too, right? Technically, when I actually think about it, he was on strike like 2.5 because a conversation before that, we had kind of got into it because he would tell me like how much he liked me and how he really wanted to like be serious with me and like how he wanted to be exclusive. And that's cool and all, but we had only been talking for like a few weeks. That wasn't enough time for me to even like figure out how I really felt about you. And also like he knew about some things that I had went through. So it just kind of felt like he only cared about what was important for him and he only cared about his needs instead of like what was best for me, right? But then also, Bookie Cat, you're sitting here talking about how you want to be exclusive with me, but you can't even bring me fucking flowers. Like I'm sorry, like the math isn't mathing. I see the two and two, but it's not giving foe. Like it's just not adding up. Like, huh? So I just want to give you guys all the backstory so you understand why I like crashed out on him and blocked that nigga, right? So anyway, back to the story. So he's like, oh, he's just saying shit at this point because he got caught up because his sister put him on Mac Blast. And at this point, I'm already like strike two, 2.5 if you count the situation that I just mentioned. So anyway, we go on a second date, right? I give this nigga another chance. Cause I just know that this man is gonna bring me flowers this time around, right? I done cussed him out once. I have already expressed to him how I felt. He gonna get his shit together, right? For sure. Bitch, we go on a date to go get Korean barbecue, and guess how this motherfucker shows up? Empty motherfucking handed. He's empty handed. What the fuck I'm gonna do with air, nigga? Where are my flowers that you promised me? And at this point, I just feel like you're making it abundantly clear that you don't give a fuck about me because at the end of the day, I've already voiced to you how I felt and you've acknowledged it, but you haven't changed any of your actions. And at this point, it just feels very contradictive. And that's like actually a pet peeve of mine. I cannot stand, like, especially when it comes to someone I'm dating that's like contradictive or has like contradictive behaviors or tendencies. That's like a deal breaker for me. I can't get with that. So anyway, I just made like a side note of it because keep in mind, I'm also high, but I'm hungry. So I was like, well, bitch, we're already here. I might as well go get Korean barbecue and enjoy myself, right? Fuck the date. So anyway, we're at Korean barbecue. We're chilling, whatever. I'm taking soju shots. We're eating and having a good time. And after the date, we like went to go. There's like this little like seating area right next to the Korean barbecue place. So we had went to go sit there. We were playing Uno. We were like chiefing a joint or whatever. And then I go home. Right. This is where the crash out begins. Okay. So like I'm a doom scroller. It's like embedded in my neurodivergency. Like I love to lay in my bed with my bonnet on and I love to doom scroll, right? So I'm scrolling and scrolling and I see this guy. You guys ever seen those videos of the guys and they have those like huge like bouquets and shit? And I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. So I sent him that and I was like, this is how you better come next time, right? And I put like a laughing emoji. I had fell asleep because, like I said, I had cheaped and I was lit. So I knocked out. I didn't see his response. Y'all, I kid you not. I wake up the next morning. I go to check my messages. This man, let me tell y'all what this man did. This man had the motherfucking audacity to leave me a YouTube video in response to the video I sent him about the guy with the big bouquet of flowers, right? Do y'all know what the YouTube video was called? Pause for reaction. This man sent me a YouTube video called Lower your expectations. When I tell you I crashed the fuck out on this man, and I'm just like, are you okay? Like in the fucking head? Because what would make you think that that was even like an appropriate response to the situation? I just feel like you were all like you knew you was already on like strike 2.5, right? At three strikes, nigga, you out. So I just feel like that could have been like you could have said anything. You could have been like, okay, babe, I got you. Like, yep, I'm gonna get you the biggest bouquet. Like you could have said anything. You could have said anything to redeem yourself. Like you was already in the doghouse. And I just feel like for you to have the fucking audacity to send me a motherfucking video or a song trying to be funny, telling me to lower my expectations, it was just honestly like disrespectful as fuck. It was kind of like a slap in my face. Because at the end of the day, first of all, bitch, look at me and look at you. You're not doing me no fucking favors, okay? I'm a bad bitch on my own. I'm doing you a solid, right? I got my own money. I got a job. I have a career. I have shit going for me. You don't have to worry about shit when it comes to me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you're not even doing the bare minimum, and you got the audacity to tell me to lower my expectations because you ain't shit. No. How about you need to raise your standards? You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've already lowered my expectations by continuing to have a conversation with you when in reality I should have just blocked you from day one. Child, look, he ain't got my throat. He ain't got my throat tight, girl. But anyway, y'all. So when he sent me that, I crashed the fuck out on him, went off on him, and I just kind of felt like you're disrespectful as fuck. So you want to be funny? I can be funny too. And so I just cussed him out, and then I blocked him. I never talked to him ever again. And like it was actually a really good lesson that I took from that because when I met him, like I said, he had a lot of nice and like sweet characteristics, but that still wasn't enough at the end of the day. And then it's like I gave you three strikes and you technically got 4 strikes, like, and you were out. And it was just weird how like he just thought it was funny and he didn't really feel like it was a big deal. But I just felt like subliminally or like subconsciously, like that's clearly how you feel. Because out of all the things you could have went like in regards to the response to the video, you chose when you already knew you were on thin ice to send me a video called Lower Your Expectations, and you thought shit was gonna be sweet. You thought I was gonna be cool with that. I'm not sure what you thought was gonna happen, but you got smooth cussed the fuck out, and now you mad. Now you done lost a bad bitch and you still broke and ain't got shit to show for it. So that was the end of Brokey. But yeah, girl. So it was definitely a lesson learned, y'all. And I would never do that shit again. I've actually been working really hard to like decenter guys and like relationships. So it's actually been really nice to put the focus like back on myself. As you see, I'm looking like a boss bitch today. The makeup's eating down, period. Hair eating down, thank you. And at the end of the day, I just know what I'm worth and I know what I deserve. And I'm just not gonna settle for less, but I'm never gonna settle for bullshit. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed my story time. If you did, let me know what you think about my story in the comments because I have hella of stories. Like, not even just guys. I have friendship stories. I got job stories. I got all types of stories, y'all, that I'm going to share with you guys, okay? And I love you, and I'll see you next week. Make sure you subscribe. Okay, bye.